All right, so you want to use your keyboard and mouse with one hand, right? Be it because your other hand is injured, you have some disability, or simply the room is too cold. You want to keep the other hand in your pocket, which I do all the time, and that's fine. In this video, I'll do it with the left hand, but you could do it with the right hand as well. And my recommendation is that you would, I think the best scenario here is using the left hand and putting always the mouse on the left side, because that way you can type here and use it, and there's like a very small amount of space that you have to travel in order to get there. Otherwise, you have to go all the way over here. And typically when you have elbow pain or wrist pain or something, all this long traveling all the time, multiple times a day, it's kind of exacerbates the problem. So I have remapped some of my keyboard keys as well as some of the buttons in my mouse to make my life easier. And I'll show you how that works. So for example, here, let's say we are looking for some type of hardware, and we're gonna search something here. Let's say some CPU, and usually you would go here to the enter in order to click. But what I've done is I just click here on the Capslock, which I never use, and I've remapped it to an enter. So when you click here, that's it. It gives you the search results. And let's say that I want to open a bunch of tabs. Usually what people do is, they control click, which is kind of complicated with one hand, or they do a right click and then open a new tab. But what I've done is I've remapped the right click into opening a tab. So if you click here, new tab, new tab, new tab, new tab. And I've also remapped the F keys so that you can navigate them easily. So the F3 would take you to the right tab, F2 would take you to the left. If you want to delete or kind of close the tab, it will be here, F1. And if you want to open a new tab, it will be here, okay? And another thing that happens quite often to me, let's say somewhere I've clicked the inside of the web page, I'm typing something out, and I want to go back to the address bar, which you can, of course, you can go here and click it, but sometimes people have issues with like pain, stuff like that. It's quite aggravating when you go to a place that is kind of like this kind of like very slow move and then click aggravates the pain. So if you want to make it faster, you can just remap this key, this degree key, to the left of the one, and it just takes you there. Because the shortcut is Alt D, which is kind of annoying to do with one hand. I think the other one was it Control L? Yeah, that's an alternative, but this is way easier for me. So let's recap a little bit what I've done. So let's see, the mouse, I haven't even shown you this yet, so I'm getting ahead of myself. So if I want to move between tabs, I can do it. My mouse has 4 buttons, 2 to the side on the left and 2 on the right. So if I take the bottom button here, I can switch tabs. If I click on the top button here on the left, it closes the tab. And as to, let's say for example, I go here, and if I use the 2 buttons on the right, which is the default setting of my mouse, it's just down page. So it scrolls down. And now we'll go back to the recap. We have mouse. This is what I've done. So you can see here that I've remapped as such the buttons. And this is a recap for the keyboard as well. So these are the remappings. And I'll show you next how to take this into use. So we click this out. So now what you have to do is first go to autohotkey.com, install the software. So download it, install it, and then open up a notepad, whichever is your favorite. I like Notepad++, but for the sake of the video and clarity, let's use Notepad. And this is what I've written there. That takes care of all my shortcuts. The first row is just a way to tell the software autohotkey that every time I have a Chrome window open, then enable the shortcuts. It won't work if you open like an Excel or Office or whatever else, Firefox. This won't work. You would have to create one line like this with a Firefox code here. And then let's go through the shortcuts. So the first one is that the right click becomes a middle click. It's the same as doing like a Control and left key in order to open a new tab. These are the buttons on the left to close the tab. This is like Control W, which is the shortcut to close the tab, and Control Tab, which is the one that takes you to the tab on the right. The Capslock turns into an enter, and the F buttons that closes, moves to the left, moves to the right, opens a new tab. And this is the degree button, which turns into Alt D, which is the shortcut, the awkward shortcut that will take you there to the URL field and highlights it, so you can just type something out. This might be different in your keyboard. Yeah, because I think mine was a little bit weird, so it took a while to get this code. What you can try, it might work for you, is just click on the key and then remap that. This is what my degree key pops out, and that might work. And how do you take this into use? Well, once you have installed autohotkey, what you do is you save as, go to some folder, and for example, in my case, I've called it lefthand.ahk, and then you click run script, or you double click it, and it should show up, let's see, here on the bottom right corner. So there's this green cube with a white H in it. If you want to disable, you can right click here and then press exit, or right click and pause. So suspend hotkey, pause script, exit. All of those work. And I think that's pretty much it. Let's recap what I've done. So mappings are as such. Then the mappings of the keyboard are such. And if you want a little bit of like if you can use your right hand every now and then, I think the following is like a quality of life, like improvements, in my opinion, which will be this. To change the Control C, Control V, which I freaking hate this. I've done this so many times in my life. So the way it works, let's see if I can pull it up. In order to introduce that change to your code, the only thing you would have to change, just give me a second here, will be this. If you add the following, let's see if I can pull it up here. So what I've done is I've just created a few lines here, and I've pasted this line. So if you keep making changes, you will only have one instance of the program. Otherwise, you would have to, every time you change the code, you would have to go ahead and come here. Let's say, for example, we have this enabled. Let's say I'm running this, and now you have it here. If you would change the script and kind of like run it again, now it asks me if it gives me this pop-up. Hey, you have an older instance running, would you like to rewrite it? But if you wouldn't have this line, you would see two green icons, so you would have two scripts running at the same time, which can cause problems. So I recommend against it. I think write this at the top and then click yes, so you replace the old one with the new one. And now this should work. So copy paste should work in all programs. So let's say if this is true, so I would copy and then I would paste. You see, I'm pasting, and this is such a quality of life improvement. I can't even express how happy this makes me, and that's why I'm sharing it with you today. And if you have any questions, fire up the below. And take care. Have a good one. Enjoy. Seize the day. One last thing that I just came up with because I felt kind of bad. This is like a tutorial for people who can only use one hand and at the end, you know, sneak in. Oh, if you can use the right hand, even if just one kind of like one finger of the right hand, you can, of course. This is like, I just explained this because this is how I do it, but you can remap them to these two keys. Like if you don't use these keys for like shortcuts and whatnot, you can use the left Windows key and the left Alt or any other keys that you have that you don't regularly use. So we're gonna do that now. So we have, I think, I'm doing this from the top of my head, so might be wrong, but that's part of the fun. So we have left Win, and we're gonna turn this into C, and then here we're gonna have, say, left Alt, and let's see if this works. Control S to save, although you can perfectly just do this. And then let's run the instance again. Maybe one good to know at this point is that if you want to run something again, you can just right click here and press reload, and that will get you the latest. And now let's see if this works. Do you think it will work? Do you trust my judgment? Let's find out. So I select something and then I copy it, and now I paste it. Yep, it worked. Yay! It did work. Awesome. But that's pretty much it this time for real. Saying goodbye and take care of yourselves, okay? Bye-bye.